Hello there. I'm really glad you found your way here to a quiet place where curiosity and rest can exist together. Maybe it's been a long day, filled with thoughts that never quite stopped moving, or maybe you just needed a moment to slow down to breathe, to listen to something gentle before sleep. Wherever you are, this space is for you, calm, unhurried, and kind. Tonight, I'd like to take you somewhere soft and far away without going anywhere at all. We'll wander through a simple question, one that feels almost like a dream when you think about it. How big is the universe compared to the galaxy we call home? You don't need to understand everything. You don't even need to think too much. Just let the words drift by like a slow current carrying your thoughts toward stillness. Take a quiet breath in. Let it move easily through you. Then breathe out softly, as if you're letting the weight of the day fade into the air. The night is patient. The world has nothing more to ask of you right now. All that matters is this: the sound of your breathing, the quiet rhythm of your heart, and the small feeling of being here in this moment. If you listen closely, you might sense the world around you growing quieter too. The hum of the day dissolves into silence. The air feels cooler, gentler. Somewhere beyond the walls of your room, the sky stretches wide and still. Stars begin to appear, not all at once, but slowly, as if they're shy. Their light is soft, not sharp, or bright, just a faint shimmer. In the dark, like distant thoughts you forgot you had. Each of those lights is a sun shining from far away, perhaps with its own worlds circling around it. And all those suns together belong to our home, the Milky Way. It's not just a galaxy, it's the quiet ocean of light that holds our sky. Inside, it is everything you know: the earth, the moon, every breath you've taken, every story ever told. It's comforting to think that all of it and all of us move together in this vast, slow dance through space. If you close your eyes, you can almost feel it, that gentle turning, steady and calm. It isn't fast or loud. It's the kind of movement that's so smooth you only notice it when you stop. And in that stillness, something inside you loosens a little. The thoughts that felt heavy begin to soften. The edges of the day blur. You begin to remember what it feels like to simply be. The universe doesn't hurry. It doesn't ask for your attention. It just goes on quietly, endlessly, peacefully. And you right now are part of that peace. You're not separate from it. You never were. The same light that travels between the stars has touched you too, in ways you might never notice, but can somehow feel. So, for now, you don't need to do anything at all. Let your breath find its own rhythm. Let your shoulders fall. Let the quiet fill the space around you. The night will hold you. The world will wait. And as we begin this gentle journey together, just know you're exactly where you need to be. Take a slow, gentle breath in. Let the air move softly through your chest, calm and unhurried. Then exhale, as if the whole world were breathing out with you. The night is still, and so is the sky above. Everything has quieted down the sound of the day, the weight of thought, the steady pulse of time. For this moment, there is nothing you need to do, nowhere you need to be. It's just you and the universe quietly existing together. The air feels a little cooler, now softer against your skin. Somewhere in the distance, the world is still moving. Cars hum, winds shift, oceans breathe. Yet here, everything slows to a rhythm you can finally keep up with. You begin to feel how life moves, even in stillness. how every breath carries the memory of stars and oceans. Breathing is not a task, it is an ancient language, a way the body remembers peace. If you close your eyes, you might notice how space itself seems to widen around you. There's no rush to reach the end of the breath. You can rest in the middle, in that quiet pause between inhale and exhale, that small place where everything feels weightless. The mind, once filled with noise, begins to soften. The edges blur, and for the first time all day, you can simply exist without having to hold anything together. Far above, the sky stretches endlessly, though you can only see a part of it. Even if clouds cover the stars, they're still there, constant, silent, and patient. Each one glows with a calm that doesn't need to be seen to be real. The light that left them may have been traveling for millions of years just to reach you tonight. There's something beautiful in that thought, that across such a vast distance, something so small and faint still finds its way here. And just as the stars send their light across space, your breath sends its calm across the body. You don't have to control it. It already knows what to do. Inhale and feel your chest rise softly, like the tide returning to the shore. Exhale and feel the release, gentle, steady, complete. With every breath, the world seems to exhale with you, as if everything is letting go together. Maybe you're in a city where the lights blur the stars, or maybe you're somewhere quiet where the sky opens wide. Either way, this stillness is yours. You don't need to see the stars to feel them. They exist in the same way peace does, quietly beneath everything waiting for you to notice. Each breath you take brings you closer to that quietness until even your thoughts begin to move slower, softer, lighter. The universe doesn't need you to understand it tonight. It only asks you to rest within it, to let it hold you for a while. The night has its own rhythm, not the rush of hours or the ticking of clocks, but something much older, like the pulse of the earth beneath your feet. When you breathe, you join that rhythm not as an observer, but as a part of it. Let your body grow heavy and warm. Feel the air move through you as easily as light passes through glass. The world outside can wait. The stars can keep watch. For now, all that matters is this gentle exchange, in and out the breath of a planet shared between you and the sky. You're not separate from any of it. You never were. You've always belonged here in this moment, between one breath and the next, where everything slows, softens, and simply is. Imagine yourself standing outside beneath a quiet sky. The air is cool, gentle, and clear, brushing softly against your skin. Above you stretches a sea of stars, countless points of light scattered across the darkness, each one glowing with a calm that feels eternal. You don't need to name them, or count them, or even think about how far they are. Just look and breathe, and let the silence of the sky begin to settle inside you. For a moment, everything feels still. The air no longer moves. The ground feels steady beneath your feet, and the world seems to pause, as if listening. Every small sound, the whisper of a leaf, the faint hum in the distance, begins to fade until only the quiet remains. You can almost feel the space between you and the stars, wide and soft, filled with invisible light that has traveled across time just to reach this place, this moment, this breath. Each star above you is a sun, distant and self-contained, yet somehow familiar. Many of them have worlds circling around them, worlds with their own skies, their own winds, their own versions of night. Somewhere out there Light falls on places no one has ever seen, on mountains and clouds that exist only in silence. You may never reach them, but right now, standing here, you are already connected to them, not by distance, but by the quiet fact that you too are made of starlight. If you tilt your head back and let your eyes adjust, you'll notice how the stars form faint threads, small patterns woven across the darkness. They don't rush, they don't compete. They simply shine, each with its own rhythm, each finding its place in the sky. Together, they create a kind of music, one too quiet for ears, but not too quiet for the soul. You are standing within that music. The ground beneath you is part of it. The air you breathe is part of it. The stars above are not strangers. They are your oldest companions. Their light has been crossing the universe long before your first breath, and it will continue long after you've drifted to sleep. When you look at them, you're seeing both the past and the present, the beginning of time and the calm of now, folded gently together. Far away, the Milky Way stretches across the sky like a pale river of light. It isn't just one long cloud of stars, but billions of them, bound together by gravity, moving in quiet harmony. Our sun is one of those stars circling the center of the galaxy in a journey so slow and smooth that it feels eternal. And yet, from where you stand, the Milky Way looks soft and still, as if time itself has paused to rest. It's strange to think that every bit of light you see has traveled so far, some for hundreds, some for millions of years, only to end its journey in your eyes. The sky above you is a kind of memory filled with messages from distant suns, arriving one by one, quietly, faithfully. You are standing in their glow, bathed in light that began before human voices ever spoke. And even though the night might seem vast, there is no loneliness here. You are not small in a way that should make you afraid. You are small in the way a single note belongs inside a song. Without it, the song wouldn't be whole. Without you, the story of the universe would be missing one quiet heartbeat, one moment of awareness that could see and feel, and simply be. So stand here a little longer, under the calm of the stars. Let the air fill you. Let the quiet wrap around you. There's no need to understand how everything fits together. The stars don't ask for understanding. They only invite you to rest, to notice, to breathe. Tonight, the sky doesn't need your wonder. It just wants your presence. And as you stand there breathing beneath the endless dark, you might begin to feel something gentle, a stillness that isn't empty, but full. The stars, the air, the ground, and you all part of the same soft light that never truly fades. And when you finally close your eyes, the stars will remain keeping watch, in silence, patient and kind, waiting for you to dream. The Milky Way, our home, in the great dark stretches across space for 100,000 light years. It's hard to imagine what that really means. If you could move at the speed of light itself, faster than anything we know, it would still take you hundreds of centuries to cross from one end of our galaxy to the other. But when you look up at the night sky, all you see is a soft band of light, faint and hazy, almost fragile. That quiet glow is the combined light of hundreds of billions of stars, each one a sun in its own right, each one burning in its own small way. It's strange, isn't it? Something so unimaginably vast can look so delicate from where we stand. The Milky Way arches across the sky like a faint mist, yet within it lies everything we've ever known. Every tree, every ocean, every thought, every story whispered before sleep. We live on a small planet circling an average star tucked away in one quiet corner of this immense spiral of light. And even though we are just a tiny part of it, the galaxy carries us gently turning, without hurry, without pause, through time and space. If you could drift outside our galaxy and look back, you would see a graceful swirl, luminous arms curling outward, dust and gas shimmering like rivers of silver. At the center, a soft glow marks the heart of the Milky Way, where a supermassive black hole sits in silent gravity, holding the entire structure together. Around it, countless stars orbit slow and steady, in patterns so precise they seem choreographed. Every movement is balanced, every rotation in quiet harmony. And there we are, somewhere in one of those spiraling arms, far from the center, far from the edges. The sun, our modest star, travels along with us, carrying the earth and its fragile life like a single grain of dust in a beam of light. Yet somehow, in this vastness, everything fits perfectly. The galaxy isn't a place of chaos. It's a place of calm, a great silent rhythm that has been unfolding for billions of years. You don't need to imagine the distances or the numbers. Just feel the thought of it, this enormous, gentle motion that never stops. The stars we see above are moving too, though, so slowly we'll never notice. Some drift closer, some drift away. Whole clusters travel together, bound by gravity, bound by time. And as the galaxy turns, we turn with it, completing one full orbit every 230 million years. A journey so long that in all of human history, we've never made it even once around. Think about that. The dinosaurs once looked up at these same stars, and the Earth was in almost the same place in the galaxy as it is now. Every creature that ever breathed, every moment that ever happened, has taken place inside this same spiral of light. The Milky Way is more than just stars and dust. It is a memory, a quiet record of everything that has ever been. If you close your eyes for a moment, you might imagine the galaxy as a great city at night, each star a window glowing softly in the distance. Some windows are bright, filled with the life of young stars just beginning to burn. Others are dimmer, old suns fading gently, their light growing thin. Between them stretch wide avenues of dust and space, vast and silent, where light travels endlessly, with no one to see it. And somewhere in one small, glowing window is us Earth, shining faintly against the dark. Even knowing how small we are doesn't make us less significant. If anything, it's comforting to realize that in such a huge, quiet universe, everything has its place. The same forces that hold the galaxies together hold the atoms in your body. The same patterns that shape the spiral arms of the stars also guide the flow of air when you breathe. There's a symmetry to it all, a kind of quiet balance that says, nothing here is alone. Our galaxy is just one among trillions, but it is ours. It's the home we've known for all of human existence. Its stars have watched over us since before we learned to name them. And tonight, as you breathe softly, you can feel that connection, a thin thread of belonging that stretches from your heartbeat to the slow turning of the Milky Way. So, let the thought of this great home wrap around you like a blanket. You don't have to understand how large it is or how far it goes. You only need to know that it's there, vast, calm, and constant, carrying you through the quiet of the night. The Earth spins, the galaxy turns, and the stars continue to shine. Everything is in motion, yet everything feels still. And in that stillness, you are safe. You are home, a small planet, resting peacefully inside a grand and endless house of light. Sometimes, when we talk about the universe, the numbers become so large that they stop feeling real. Millions, billions, trillions distances so vast that even light traveling at its fastest would take lifetimes to cross them. But let's pause for a moment. Let's set the numbers aside. You don't have to understand infinity to feel it. You only need to be still long enough to sense its quiet weight pressing gently around you, not heavy, not frightening, just endless, soft and full. The night sky, if you look at it long enough, has a way of reminding you how small you are, but not in a sad way. There's something peaceful about it to stand beneath such immensity and know that you're part of it, not separate from it. The stars above the air you breathe, the ground beneath your feet, all of it exists in the same vast system of being. You are not outside the universe looking in. You are inside it, made of the same elements that shine in the dark. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine it, the vastness stretching outward in every direction. There's no edge, no border, no wall, just more space, and more beyond that. Planets circling suns, suns drifting in galaxies, galaxies flowing together in clusters, all moving, all spinning, all alive in their quiet way. Somewhere within that infinite rhythm, a single world glows, blue breathing, in the dark. That's home. That's us. When we try to picture it all, the mind can't quite hold it. It's too large, too deep, too quiet. And maybe that's the point. Maybe the beauty of the universe lies in the fact that we can't fit it inside our heads, that it humbles us, softens us, brings us back to something simple and small. The stars don't need to be understood to be felt. Their light doesn't ask to be measured. It only asks to be seen. So, as you breathe, let yourself drift into that feeling, the feeling of standing on the edge of something boundless. You are tiny, yes, but not lost. You are small in the way a note is small within a song, necessary and perfectly placed. The universe doesn't overwhelm you, it holds you. The distance between galaxies, the coldness of space, the silence of light traveling for millions of years. They aren't reminders of isolation. They are reminders of connection. Everything that exists shares the same beginning, the same spark, the same quiet unfolding. If you could watch it all unfold from afar, you'd see patterns in the seeming chaos, galaxies spinning like slow whirlpools, stars flickering in waves, nebulae blooming like petals in the dark. Each part of the universe moving with its own calm purpose, each motion affecting another in ways we'll never fully see. It's a dance so vast and subtle that it feels almost like breathing one endless inhale and exhale stretched across eternity. And within that breath, there's you, you whose heart beats in a rhythm that echoes the pulse of creation itself. You whose thoughts drift like comets, bright for a moment, then gone. You who carries in your blood the atoms of ancient stars. Everything you are has already traveled through time and space, through fire, through silence, through light. You don't just live in the universe. You are a small reflection of it awake for a brief, beautiful moment. There's comfort in knowing that you don't have to understand everything to belong to it. The infinite doesn't ask you to measure it, only to notice, to breathe, to be aware. The same way the ocean doesn't need you to count its waves, or the sky doesn't need you to name its clouds. You are here to witness, to feel, to let wonder rise. and then fade into peace. When you look up at the stars, what you see isn't distance, it's time. The light touching your eyes tonight began its journey long before your name was ever spoken. It traveled through darkness, through space that knows no end, just to arrive here quietly, without fanfare. And somehow it found you. You are part of that story. Now the light, the silence, the brief moment of seeing. So let the thought of infinity wash over you, not as something to fear, but as something that frees you. You don't need to reach the edge of the universe. There isn't one. You don't need to understand its size. You are already within it. All that's required is to breathe and let yourself soften into its rhythm, the same rhythm that moves the galaxies, the same rhythm that turns the earth, the same rhythm that keeps your heart steady in the quiet of night. The universe is vast beyond measure, but somehow in this very moment, it has folded around you. You are held by it, gently, endlessly, without question. And as you drift closer to sleep, the stars will keep shining, the galaxies will keep turning, and the infinite will keep breathing calm, patient, and full of light. Remember this: you do not simply live in the universe, you are part of it. The same materials that build stars are quietly flowing through you. The calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, the oxygen filling your lungs. All of it was forged long ago in the burning hearts of ancient suns. Every heartbeat you feel carries the rhythm of explosions that once lit the cosmos. You are not separate from that story. You are its continuation. Take a slow breath in. The air that enters your body has been on a long journey through forests and oceans, through other lives, through time itself. Each molecule has belonged to something before you and will belong to something after. The breath you take now may once have drifted over mountain peaks, through coral reefs, or across the rings of a distant planet. The universe moves through you quietly, invisibly, in every inhale and exhale. You are not just existing within it, you are sharing its pulse. When you look up at the stars, it's easy to feel small. But when you remember that you are made of the same light, that smallness becomes something sacred. You are a fragment of the infinite aware of itself for a moment. The atoms that once burned in a star now form the spark of thought behind your eyes. You right now are the way the universe knows it exists. That realization doesn't need to be grand. It can simply rest in you, like the soft glow of starlight through a window. Think of it this way: the stars are not up there, separate and unreachable. They are inside you, in every cell, in every quiet breath. You are the universe, arranged into a form that can wonder, that can dream, that can pause beneath the night sky and feel awe. And maybe that's why the stars draw us in, because when we look at them, we're remembering something we've always known deep down. We come from them. We belong to them. Even your heartbeat echoes this truth. It beats in time with the slow rotation of the earth, with the turning of the galaxy, with the steady expansion of the cosmos itself. Everything moves together, the smallest particles, the tallest mountains, the coldest light from the farthest stars. All of it shares the same quiet rhythm. You can feel it if you listen closely, that hum beneath everything, the subtle reminder that you are part of something vast, ancient, and gentle. You don't need to reach for meaning tonight. It's already here, flowing through you, like air, like light, like time. The same energy that lifts the tides and warms the sun is what allows you to breathe, to think, to rest. There's no border between you and the universe, only movement, only connection. When you breathe out, you send something of yourself back into that vastness. When you breathe in, you receive the universe in return. It's a quiet exchange, endless and kind. So, if you ever feel small or distant or alone, remember this. You are made of the same dust that built the stars, the same light that still travels through space, the same matter that dreams itself into life again and again. The universe has never been something outside of you. It's within you, in your hands, your heartbeat, your breath. Let that thought rest in you like a lullaby. You don't have to understand it. You only have to feel it. You are not a visitor here. You are home, always have been, always will be. And as you breathe slowly now, as your body softens into rest, imagine that the universe is breathing with you, gently, endlessly, and full of quiet wonder. A long time ago, people believed the sky was a dome, a vast ceiling stretched over the earth, painted with stars that never moved. The world felt small, then contained and complete, as if everything that existed was right here within reach. The heavens were something sacred, but near close enough to touch with a prayer. No one could have imagined that those tiny lights were not holes in the sky, but suns, enormous, distant, alive, in their own way. For most of human history, we lived under that illusion, and there was comfort in it. The stars were steady, predictable, familiar. People told stories about them, gods, hunters, lovers frozen in time, trying to make sense of their quiet glow. We didn't know how far they were, or how long their light had been traveling to find us. We just knew they were beautiful, and maybe in a way that was enough. Then came the moment when curiosity began to stretch farther than fear. Telescopes turned toward the night and found that the stars were not fixed to a dome at all. They floated in open space, scattered across distances, too vast to measure. What had once felt like a ceiling became an ocean. The Earth, once the center of everything, was suddenly just one small island adrift in an endless sea of light. It was a humbling thought, and a beautiful one. Only a little more than a century ago, we discovered something even more astonishing. The Milky Way, the galaxy we call home, was not the whole universe. For thousands of years, we had looked at it and believed it contained everything there was. But through the quiet patience of observation, we began to see faint smudges of light beyond its edges, small and ghostly, as if painted by mistake. Those smudges turned out to be other galaxies, other islands of stars, each one immense, each one carrying its own suns and planets. It was Edwin Hubble, standing under a clear California sky, who first measured their distance and realized the truth. Our galaxy, as grand as it seemed, was just one among billions. The universe was expanding, stretching outward like a great breath that never ends. For the first time, humanity glimpsed the scale of what we were part of. And with that, something inside us shifted forever. That moment was more than a scientific discovery. It was a quiet awakening. We began to see that knowledge does not make us smaller. It makes us more connected. The stars did not move farther away. We simply understood that they had always been far, and that their distance was not emptiness, but space for wonder to grow. Each revelation drew the curtain back a little more, and the view beyond became not frightening, but peaceful. a reminder that the unknown is vast but not unfriendly. Now, when you look up at the Milky Way, you can imagine it for what it truly is, a glowing river of suns flowing through the darkness, one thread in an endless cosmic tapestry. Somewhere within that great swirl, Earth moves quietly along, carrying life that looks up and tries to understand. You are part of that lineage, one small being with the rare gift of awareness, continuing the same question that began when the first human lifted their eyes to the night. We have traveled far since those early myths of the sky, but the wonder remains the same. Maybe understanding the universe doesn't take away its magic. Maybe it deepens it. When we learn what something truly is, we see it more clearly, love it more deeply. The stars are no longer just lights above us. They are our ancestors, our origins, our story written in fire. So, tonight, as you lie beneath the same sky that once puzzled and amazed those before us, let that feeling of discovery rest gently in you. You don't need to solve the mysteries, you only need to feel them. The same curiosity that built telescopes also built dreams. It lives in you, still quietly waiting. Close your eyes and imagine that old dome fading away, revealing the open space beyond. Feel how wide it is, how calm. We are no longer at the center, but we have never been more at home. The universe is vast, and we are small, but we belong to each other completely. When you think about distance in daily life, it feels simple. A few steps across the room, a short walk down the street, a plane ride that crosses an ocean while you sleep. But beyond Earth, the idea of distance begins to dissolve. Out there between the stars, between the galaxies, the spaces are so vast that ordinary words stop working. A mile, a kilometer, even a million of them, they mean nothing. The only measure that makes sense is light itself, and even light moving faster than anything we can imagine needs millions or billions of years to travel from one place to another. If you close your eyes, try to imagine that a single beam of light leaving a distant star crossing through dark space for 10 million years before touching your eyes tonight. It has passed through silence, through gravity, through dust and emptiness, and yet it arrives here softly, without a sound. The universe feels endless, not because it is cruel or cold, but because it is patient. It waits for light to travel, for time to unfold, for eyes like yours to look up and notice. The spaces between galaxies are not blank, they are full of quiet. Between one cluster and another lies a stretch of darkness so deep that it swallows everything sound, color, time. Light itself becomes rare. They're scattered and thin. If you could drift through it, there would be no sense of movement, only the feeling of floating inside infinity. And yet, in that darkness, everything is connected. Gravity binds what the eye cannot see. The stars still pull on one another, across impossible distances, whispering in a language of motion and light. When we talk about a million years, we imagine time so long that it feels empty. But the light from galaxies we see tonight began its journey long before humans walked the earth. Each shimmer you glimpse in the night sky is an echo, a memory of how that galaxy looked ages ago. You're not just looking across space, you're looking across time. The stars you see may no longer exist, but their light continues on, carrying their story into the present. Think about how far that light has traveled just to find you here, in this moment, on this small world, turning quietly through the dark. The journey it made is longer than every dream, every life, every history we've ever known. Yet somehow, that light found its way through emptiness, through time, and now it rests softly against your eyes. You are the destination of a journey that began before your species, before your planet, before even your sun existed. When you stand under the sky, it's easy to feel small, but that smallness carries its own wonder. To exist within something so large, to be aware of it, to know that your eyes can hold the light of galaxies, that's not insignificance. That's connection. You're not outside the vastness looking in. You are part of the same fabric, made of the same atoms that drift between the stars, breathing the same particles that have traveled across eons. Sometimes when we measure distance by light, we forget that what really matters isn't how far things are, but that they can touch us at all. The starlight that reaches you tonight has crossed the same universe your breath will return to when you exhale. The word far loses its meaning because everything, no matter how distant, is part of the same whole. The galaxies aren't elsewhere. They are here woven into your atoms, your thoughts, your quiet heartbeat. So as you breathe, imagine those spaces not as empty, but as calm, vast stretches where the universe takes its time. The distances are enormous, yes, but they are gentle. Nothing rushes. Light moves, as it always has, steady and sure. Time stretches, folds, and continues carrying everything along. You don't have to imagine all the galaxies at once, or hold their numbers in your mind. Just picture a single point of light, faint but steady, crossing eternity to reach you. Feel how soft that is, how delicate the connection between you and everything else truly is. Distance doesn't separate you from the universe. It brings you closer to understanding its patience. And as you let that thought drift through you, remember even the most unimaginable space can be filled with meaning. The stars may be far away, but their light lives here now in you. The vastness is not something to fear. It is something to rest within. It's what allows you to breathe, to dream, to look up and feel both tiny and infinite all at once. Light travels at a speed so great that it's almost impossible to imagine nearly 300,000 kilometers every second. In one single year, that light will cross almost 10 trillion kilometers of space. It's a number so large that it stops feeling like a number at all, something your mind can't quite hold. We call it a light year, not a measure of time, but of distance, the way we describe the unimaginable. The Milky Way, the galaxy we call home, stretches about 100,000 light years across. That means if a beam of light left one side of our galaxy and crossed straight through, it would take 100,000 years just to reach the other side. For all that time it would move, without resting, through clouds of dust and rivers of stars, past worlds and suns and emptiness. And yet that immense journey would only cover one single galaxy, one of billions. Beyond our Milky Way, the universe continues, not for millions, but for billions of light years more. The part we can observe stretches roughly 93 billion light years from edge to edge, a size so vast that even light, the fastest thing we know, could never cross it within the age of the universe itself. Beyond that limit, space keeps going into regions we can't see or measure. It's not that the universe ends, it's just that light hasn't had enough time to reach us yet. If you try to imagine it, you might picture the Milky Way as a single grain of sand, small, simple, unremarkable. Then imagine holding it in your hand and looking out across an entire beach, each grain another galaxy shining somewhere in the dark. The beach stretches farther than your eyes can see, farther even than your thoughts can travel. Every grain is a world of its own, full of stars, planets, moons, and perhaps even beings wondering about the same vastness you are now. It's easy for the mind to grow quiet when you think about it. The numbers are too large, the distance is too great. But instead of feeling lost, something else begins to rise, a gentle awe, a calm understanding that you're part of something so much larger than yourself. The light from those galaxies travels through the dark for billions of years just to touch your eyes tonight. You are seeing what the universe looked like long before your world existed, before your sun was born, before your atoms found each other. Light is patient in ways we can barely imagine. It never hurries, never tires, never turns back. It simply goes on, crossing through time and silence, bringing with it the memory of where it came from. Every faint glimmer you see in the night sky is a story, a journey that began eons ago. The light of a dying star, the glow of a newborn galaxy, the echo of creation still traveling through space. If you let yourself listen, you can almost hear the rhythm of it, the pulse of light, steady and endless, connecting everything that exists. The same light that crosses galaxies also passes through your body, now through your eyes, your skin, your breath. You are part of its path, a brief resting place on its way through the infinite. And maybe that's the most beautiful part. In a universe that vast with numbers, that large with distances so immense they defy understanding, you are still included. You are made of the same light that fills the stars, of the same particles that travel through time. You are not outside looking in. You are a tiny spark inside the same luminous sea. So let the numbers fade into silence. You don't need to measure or define them. Just let them fill you with wonder, the kind that doesn't ask for answers, only awareness. Picture that grain of sand in your hand and the endless beach beyond it. Feel the vastness, but also the peace of it, the way everything fits, the way everything belongs. The light that crosses 93 billion light years doesn't rush. It simply shines. The galaxies don't race. They drift. Time unfolds quietly, without hurry. And here you are, breathing warm, alive, one small being on one small world, wrapped gently inside it all. When you close your eyes tonight, the light will still be moving, the stars will still be glowing, and the universe will still be stretching soft and endless. You are part of that motion. You always have been. When you stand beneath the open sky, something quiet begins to happen inside you. The longer you look, the smaller you start to feel, as though everything you thought was heavy, everything you thought was urgent, begins to drift away. You are one small being under a vast sea of stars, your heartbeat a soft echo in the rhythm of something much greater. And yet, in that smallness, there's a strange comfort, because in that moment, you realize you belong to this sky. You are not separate from it. The stars above aren't watching you from afar. They are within you. The same atoms that glow in them are the ones that breathe in your lungs, rest in your bones, and move through your blood. Every inhale is shared with trees, with oceans, with the quiet dust between the planets. Every exhale returns to that same breath of the universe, a gentle exchange that never truly ends. You are part of its cycle, not an observer of it. If you close your eyes, you might feel that connection more clearly, soft pulse beneath the surface of everything. The Earth's gravity holding you, the air moving around you, the faint hum of life that exists even in stillness. You are surrounded by motion, even in silence. The stars above are turning, the galaxy is spinning, the universe itself is expanding, and somehow you are part of all of it. It's easy to think that small means insignificant, but when you stand beneath the sky, you can sense that the opposite is true. The vastness doesn't diminish you, it completes you. Like a note in a song, your existence gives meaning to the space it fills. Without you, the universe would still exist, yes, but it would have one less voice to recognize its beauty. You are the way the universe sees itself, the way it feels, the way it knows. Let that thought sink in slowly. You are not on the outside looking in. You are within the fabric of the same creation that forms galaxies and suns and rivers and dreams. You are built from the same matter that once burned in stars and will someday return to them again. The line between you and everything is softer than you think. When you breathe, it breathes. When you rest, it rests through you. The boundary between your skin and the sky is only temporary, an illusion made of perspective. If you've ever felt alone, look up again. The light that reaches you has traveled across impossible distances to arrive at your eyes, not to remind you how far it came, but to show you that connection never really ends. Even after stars die, their light continues on, crossing the dark, for millions of years, touching everything it meets. You are touched by that same light. You carry it without even knowing. There's something gentle about understanding your smallness. It's not something to resist. It's something to rest in. The universe doesn't ask you to be big. It doesn't demand that you take up more space than you do. It only asks that you exist quietly, fully, in the small corner of infinity that is yours. And in return, it gives you belonging, the deep, unspoken knowing that you are part of the same breath that began long before you and will continue long after. You can feel that belonging in the simplest things, the warmth of the air on your skin, the rise and fall of your chest, the soft pulse of your heart. Each of those sensations ties you to everything around you. You don't have to search for meaning beyond that. You are already enough. The act of existing, of breathing, feeling, dreaming, is the universe expressing itself through you. When you look at the night sky, try to see it not as something distant, but as a mirror. Every spark of light you see out there exists within you too. The same forces that move the stars move your blood. The same patterns that shape galaxies shape your thoughts. You are a tiny reflection of a great and patient whole one consciousness among countless others, flickering softly in the dark. So, tonight, as you breathe, under the same stars that have watched over all who came before you, let the smallness wrap around you like a blanket. Feel how calm it is to know your place, not at the center of the universe, but within it, where you have always been. You don't have to reach for the stars. They are already part of you. And as your body begins to relax, your breath growing slower and softer, let that quiet truth settle deep within you. You are not apart from the universe. You are an inseparable thread woven into its endless design. You belong to everything, and everything belongs to you. The stars above are still turning, the galaxies still breathing, and you are part of that same gentle motion. Small, yes, but perfectly placed. The Milky Way, our galaxy, is not still. It's alive endlessly, moving endlessly, breathing. Within its graceful spiral arms are hundreds of billions of stars, each one glowing softly, each one carrying its own story. Between them drift clouds of gas and dust, vast and quiet, the raw material for new suns that will one day shine. Nebulae bloom like slow-motion flowers, their colors invisible to the eye, but radiant in silence. Clusters of stars move together like families traveling through time, and deep in the center, hidden behind veils of light and dust, lies Sagittarius A, a supermassive black hole, the heart around which everything turns. Nothing in the Milky Way is ever truly still. Every star, every grain of dust, even the light itself is moving. They all orbit the center in a vast and patient dance that takes hundreds of millions of years to complete. It's a rhythm so slow that we can't see it, but it's happening right now, the galaxy, turning like a soft wheel in the dark, ancient, and calm. The Earth, our small blue world, is just one note in that quiet music, completing its part in the grand cycle, one orbit around the galaxy every 230 million years. If you could step outside the Milky Way and look back, you would see a swirl of silver light, delicate and alive. The spiral arms would stretch out like flowing ribbons, wrapped around a glowing heart. Some stars would flicker faintly, nearing the end of their time. Others would blaze bright and young, only beginning to burn. And in the spaces between vast rivers of invisible matter would flow unseen but essential, keeping the stars bound together. It's strange to think that everything we've ever known, every ocean, every song, every moment of joy or loss has unfolded on one small planet within this immense turning system. We are travelers within a moving home, spinning quietly through space, carried along by forces we can't feel, but that hold us always. Even as you sit here now, listening, your body and the planet beneath you are moving faster than you can imagine, circling the sun, and with it circling the galaxy itself. But it doesn't feel like motion. It feels like stillness, a stillness so perfect it becomes peace. That's the beauty of the Milky Way's dance. It doesn't demand attention, it simply is. Everything within it knows its place. Stars, planets, light, and shadow, all moving in harmony. It's like a symphony that has been playing for billions of years, where every note, no matter how small, adds to the whole. And we here on Earth are part of that melody. Our galaxy hums with creation. In some regions, stars are being born, collapsing clouds of gas igniting into light. In others, stars are dying quietly, giving back their elements to the dust, making way for what comes next. Even in death, they continue the cycle, scattering the same materials that will one day build new suns, new worlds, maybe even a new life. It's not destruction, it's renewal, patient and endless. If you could hear the Milky Way, it wouldn't sound like chaos, it would sound like balance, a deep, slow rhythm beneath everything. The stars don't compete, they coexist. The planets don't hurry, they glide. Gravity holds them all in a soft embrace, guiding their motion like invisible music. Even the black hole at the center, that silent anchor of gravity, isn't violent here. It's simply the conductor, keeping time, shaping the flow, reminding every orbit where it belongs. And here you are, a tiny consciousness within all this movement, aware of it, listening to it, breathing in rhythm with it. The same gravity that turns the galaxy also keeps you grounded. The same atoms that glow in distant stars make up your body, your breath, your thoughts. You're not watching the galaxy from afar. You're inside it, living within its pulse, part of its endless motion. The next time you look up at the Milky Way, that pale band of light stretched across the night, think of it as home. Every sparkle you see is one of its countless rooms, some bright, some faint, all glowing softly in the great stillness of space. We are one of those faint sparks, tucked away in a quiet corner, surrounded by billions of others, each adding its own light to the whole. And even though our place is small, it is enough. The galaxy does not need you to be large to belong to it. It needs only for you to exist, to be part of its song, its turning its light. The Milky Way carries you, protects you, and moves with you, whether you notice or not. So, as you breathe tonight, imagine that movement, the stars drifting slowly, the spiral arms turning gracefully, the center pulsing softly in the dark. Feel how calm it is, how infinite, how sure. You are a single heartbeat inside a living galaxy, and the rhythm that holds it together is the same one that lets you rest. The Milky Way keeps moving, and so do you, quietly, peacefully, forever, part of its endless, shining song. The Milky Way, our cosmic home, is a spiral galaxy, delicate and immense, turning quietly in the dark. Its shape is elegant, like a slow whirl of light frozen in motion. From a distance, it looks almost fragile, a flat disk of stars so thin that if you could hold it in your hands, it would seem no thicker than a sheet of paper compared to its width. Yet, within that slender form lies hundreds of billions of suns, countless worlds, and the story of everything we know. At its heart glows a bright, dense center, the galactic core, where stars cluster together in golden clouds, and where gravity is strongest. From there, the Milky Way stretches outward in soft, spiraling arms that curve and flow like rivers of light. These arms are not solid. They are streams of stars, dust, and gas, flowing together in patterns shaped by time and motion. The galaxy spins slowly, its arms drifting outward like silk ribbons turning in water. Our home is one of those ribbons, a quiet branch called the Orion Arm. It's not near the center where the stars burn too hot and close, nor at the far edges where the light thins and fades into silence. We are somewhere in between, in a calm, balanced place. Here the distances between stars are wide enough for peace, but close enough for connection. It is a gentle neighborhood, one that has given space and time for life to bloom. If you could see it from above, you'd notice how graceful it looks, a spiral of starlight, turning slowly, glowing faintly, at the edges alive, but unhurried. The Milky Way's spiral arms are like a great cosmic clock, each one moving in rhythm with the others, bound together by invisible threads of gravity. Every star, every planet, every particle moves as part of this quiet choreography, as though the entire galaxy were breathing together in one long eternal motion. Our sun, small and steady, circles the galaxy once every 230 million years, a single rotation that outlasts all of human history many times over. And yet, to the galaxy, This movement is natural and calm, a steady heartbeat that keeps the balance of the whole. Every orbit, every turn, every flicker of light in the Milky Way plays a part in this harmony. Nothing rushes, nothing falls behind. The Milky Way isn't a flat picture, but a living structure, a vast thin disk surrounded by a faint halo of older stars and dark matter we cannot see. It bends slightly at the edges, like a leaf floating on still water, shaped by the pull of neighboring galaxies. Within it, stars are born live and fade in cycles that never stop, a quiet flow of beginnings and endings that stretch across billions of years. Somewhere in that flow is us. The Earth drifts gently inside the Orion Arm, a small planet circling a modest star wrapped in a thin blanket of air. From this fragile place, we look outward, wondering at the structure we live within, the spirals, the dust, the light. We are like someone inside a vast cathedral, standing so close to its walls that we can see only a few beams of color through stained glass, never realizing the scale of the whole. And yet that small glimpse is enough to fill us with awe. It's humbling to realize that we are part of something so large, yet so delicately arranged. The Milky Way feels infinite, but it is also intimate. Every star that shines above us belongs to this one galactic family, moving in quiet coordination. Even the darkness between them is full, not empty, but alive with potential, with the quiet hum of things becoming what they are meant to be. Our galaxy's beauty doesn't lie in its size alone, but in its balance, a harmony of chaos and calm, energy and rest. The stars at its edges move slower, the ones near the core faster, yet together they keep the shape whole. It's as if the Milky Way knows how to hold itself in perfect grace, spinning endlessly, never losing its form. And in that perfect stillness of motion, there is peace. The same peace that hums in your chest when you breathe slowly, deeply, letting the air move in and out without effort. The galaxy breathes too, in its own vast way, stars forming, fading, and forming again. And somewhere in that breath, life found its way here, on this quiet blue world, within this calm arm of light. So tonight, as you rest, imagine yourself lying within that spiral, surrounded by billions of suns, wrapped in the galaxy's soft light. You don't need to see its shape to feel it. You are already part of it, part of its thin, shining disk, turning slowly through the dark. The Milky Way keeps moving, patient and silent, carrying you with it through the endless night. And as it turns the stars above, whisper the same truth they have always known, that you are home, held within the structure of something vast and beautiful, endlessly unfolding, endlessly alive. The Milky Way turns slowly and gracefully in a dance so vast that we can't truly feel it. One complete rotation takes hundreds of millions of years. Since the time of the dinosaurs, Earth has only circled the galaxy once, and as our planet continues its quiet path around the galactic center, time moves in layers so deep, so ancient, that every moment we live is just a soft heartbeat within a rhythm that began long before life itself. It's strange to think that while everything around us feels so fleeting, the rise and fall of seasons, the rhythm of days and nights, the galaxy keeps its own steady tempo, one we can only sense if we slow down enough. Its arms sweep through space with patience, carrying billions of suns like glowing notes in a cosmic symphony. Stars are born, burn, fade, and vanish, but the rotation continues, calm and unbroken. It doesn't hurry, it doesn't falter, The galaxy turns because that is what galaxies do, quietly, endlessly, beautifully. If you could watch the Milky Way's movement from afar, it would look like a living painting, slowly spiraling in the dark. Its light would shimmer and ripple, changing just enough to remind you that time never truly stands still. Every rotation reshapes the sky. New stars take their place, others disappear, and the great arms of the galaxy drift like currents in a luminous sea. And somewhere in one of those currents, a small blue world keeps spinning, carrying oceans, forests, memories, and you. The timescale is almost impossible to imagine. One galactic year, one orbit around the Milky Way's center, lasts about 230 million Earth years. That means every sunrise you've seen, every heartbeat, every generation that's ever lived has taken place within only a fraction of a single turn. The dinosaurs rose and fell before the Earth completed even one. Civilizations have come and gone, stars have been born and lost, yet the galaxy's rotation continues silent and sure. And there's something deeply peaceful about that, the thought that while everything changes, something larger keeps its rhythm. It doesn't mourn what's gone or rush what's next. It simply moves. The stars that once shone over ancient worlds have returned their light to the dark, and new ones now glow in their place. It's a slow, eternal waltz where creation and disappearance are just two steps of the same dance. If you close your eyes and imagine the galaxy's movement, it might feel like breathing. The arms inhale, drawing in clouds of gas and dust. Then they exhale, releasing stars and planets back into the void. Every inhalation creates, every exhalation renews. The Milky Way's breath is so vast, so gentle, that it carries the whole story of time, the story of beginnings, endings, and everything between. When you think of it this way, time itself becomes softer. It's not a line rushing forward, but a circle, an ongoing rhythm that we are all part of. You are living inside a motion that began billions of years ago and will continue long after your lifetime. And yet you are part of it, every heartbeat, an echo of that ancient spin, every breath, a small reflection of the galaxy's calm persistence. Imagine standing on Earth under the stars, feeling still. But in truth, you are moving the Earth, spinning on its axis, orbiting the sun itself, sweeping through the Milky Way's arm. You are traveling at unimaginable speeds through the quiet of space, yet it feels peaceful, steady like floating. This is the rhythm of the universe, motion that feels like stillness, change that feels like calm. Over the course of one galactic orbit, the universe will continue its transformations. Entire star clusters will drift apart, new planets will form, and one day, long after our species is gone, the Earth will complete another turn around the galaxy's heart, unnoticed but not forgotten, a tiny part of an endless pattern. The dance will go on as it always has, serene and patient. And perhaps that's what makes it beautiful, the knowing that we are small, but still included, fleeting, but never lost. We move with the stars, with the spiral, with the rhythm of the ages. The same gravity that holds the galaxy together holds us too. Even as we sleep, even as we dream, we are carried gently through the dark, not as separate observers, but as part of the Milky Way's eternal movement. So, tonight as you rest, imagine that rotation, slow, silent, vast. Picture the stars drifting in their luminous spiral, glowing softly as they circle the heart of darkness that binds them all. The galaxy keeps turning, and you turn with it, quietly, peacefully, part of a dance older than time itself. And somewhere in that stillness, between one heartbeat and the next, the universe continues to move slow, patient, and full of grace. When you lift your eyes to the dark sky, you're already looking toward our nearest neighbor, the Andromeda Galaxy. It sits quietly, 5 million light years away so far that the light you see from it tonight began its journey long before humans existed. It left that galaxy when the Earth was still ruled by early animals, when no human eyes had yet learned to look upward. That same light has been traveling ever since, through silence, through space, through time until this moment, when it finally meets your gaze. If you could see Andromeda clearly, you'd notice its shape, a spiral of soft light stretching wide across the night, like a distant reflection of our own Milky Way. It's not a star, though it may appear as one. It's a whole galaxy home to 1 trillion suns each, with its own worlds, its own moons, its own possible stories. And somewhere in that immense ocean of light, perhaps there are beings who lift their eyes, as you do, wondering what lies beyond. The distance between our galaxies is unimaginable, yet they are slowly moving toward one another, drawn by the quiet pull of gravity. Every second, Andromeda drifts a little closer, not with haste or violence, but with the patience of eternity. In about 4 billion years, they will meet. The Milky Way and Andromeda will touch their spiral arms, folding together like silk, their stars weaving into new patterns. It will not be a collision of destruction, but a slow merging, a long and graceful dance, lasting hundreds of millions of years. Imagine that 2 galaxies, each vast, beyond comprehension, swirling together in a cosmic embrace. Stars will pass by, stars most never colliding, but bending the space between them, reshaping the skies of whatever worlds still exist. From some distant planet, a future sky will glow brighter, filled with arcs of light, stretching from horizon to horizon. For the beings who may look up, then their night will be painted with beauty, 2 galaxies entwined glowing as one. It's hard to think of something so enormous, moving on a scale so different from our own lives, but somehow that very distance, that unimaginable scale, brings peace. The universe doesn't rush. It has time, endless time to move, to change, to create. And so do you, in your own small way. You are part of that same rhythm, the same slow, patient unfolding of everything that is. When you look at Andromeda, you're not seeing somewhere else. You're seeing the universe reflected back at you. You and that distant galaxy are connected by light, ancient, delicate, and real. The atoms in your body, the warmth in your breath, the light in your eyes, they all come from stars that once burned as fiercely as those in Andromeda. You are made of the same matter, shaped by the same laws, carried by the same gravity. The distance between you and that galaxy is an emptiness, its connection stretched thin across time. If you let that thought settle, the night begins to feel softer. The stars above are no longer distant points, but neighbors. The space between galaxies isn't silence, but calm. Everything is still moving, gently, endlessly, and you are moving with it. The air you breathe, the planet beneath your feet, the very atoms that form you are all part of the same vast motion that draws the Milky Way toward Andromeda. Someday, long after we are gone, our 2 galaxies will merge into one, a new larger spiral, perhaps more beautiful than either was alone. Astronomers call it Milkomeda, a single galaxy born from two. And while we will never see it, it's comforting to know that even on the grandest scale, the universe seeks connection. Nothing drifts apart forever. Even galaxies, separated by millions of light years, are destined to meet, to merge, to belong. So tonight, as you stand beneath the dark sky, let your gaze rest softly on that faint blur, our distant neighbor, our future companion. Let the distance remind you not of how small you are, but of how connected you've always been. Between you and Andromeda lies not emptiness, but light traveling, enduring, carrying stories older than life itself. The same light now touches you quietly, gently, as if whispering, you are not alone in the dark. You are part of the dance, slow, timeless, and full of grace. Far beyond our familiar night sky, beyond the Milky Way and its swirling arms, lies an even greater neighborhood, a community of galaxies bound together in quiet harmony. The Milky Way and Andromeda are not alone in the dark. They are two great companions in a gathering called the Local Group, a small family of a few dozen galaxies drifting together through the deep fabric of space. Each one moves at its own pace, following invisible threads of gravity, orbiting, shifting, breathing, together across unimaginable distances. In this family, the Milky Way and Andromeda are like elder siblings, vast and bright, while the smaller galaxies, faint and delicate, trail nearby like younger ones, their light soft and easily overlooked. Some of them are so small that only a few million stars form their entire being. Others, like the Magellanic Clouds, shimmer faintly near our sky, glowing just enough for us to see them with the naked eye from the southern hemisphere. Together, they form a gentle constellation of motion, a cluster of light quietly making its way through the dark. The Local Group itself drifts through an even larger system, the Virgo supercluster, a vast collection of thousands of galaxy groups spread like beads on invisible strings. Imagine the night sky, but on a scale beyond, imagining clusters of galaxies instead of stars, each glowing faintly, all woven together into an enormous three-dimensional web. This web stretches across hundreds of millions of light years, a network of light and space that forms the true structure of the universe. And yet, even that immense cluster, with its countless galaxies and empty stretches between, is not the end. The Virgo supercluster is only one small part of something even larger, a structure called Laniakea. The word means immeasurable heaven, and it fits perfectly. Laniakea is home to more than 100,000 galaxies, like ours, a vast continent of light floating through the cosmic sea. Each galaxy moves gently within it, drawn toward the same distant center, carried by the same subtle pull of gravity. It is, in a sense, the true home of our galaxy and of us. It's hard to imagine something so large that it cannot be measured in human terms. The distances between these galaxies are so great that light moving at its impossible speed would take hundreds of millions of years to cross from one end of Laniakea to the other. Yet when you picture it from far away, it isn't chaotic. It looks organized, serene threads of light flowing together like rivers in a vast cosmic landscape. There's beauty in that structure, a quiet order in what might seem like infinite space. And within that structure, our Milky Way moves, two not alone, not lost, but carried gently along with billions of others. The galaxies don't collide often. They move gracefully, drawn together and apart, like dancers following the same music. Gravity is their guide, and the rhythm it sets is slow, soft, and eternal. If you could watch them from a higher view, you'd see the universe not as a void, but as a living web, glowing nodes connected by filaments of light, breathing in and out over eons. There is something comforting about knowing that even on such a grand scale, nothing truly drifts alone. The same rule that binds the Earth to the Sun binds galaxies to each other and superclusters to larger structures still. The pattern repeats from atoms to stars, from stars to galaxies, from galaxies to clusters, all moving in the same quiet rhythm. The universe is not chaos. It is a great community of existence where every part, no matter how small, has its place. You are part of that too. When you breathe the oxygen in your lungs, once drifted through the space between stars. When you think the electrical signals in your brain carry atoms that were born in galaxies beyond our own. Every part of you is woven from the same fabric as everything else in Laniakea. You are not watching the cosmos from the outside. You are a small consciousness within it, an awareness through which the universe can see itself. If you close your eyes now, imagine yourself floating just beyond our galaxy, far enough to see the entire local group spread out like soft lanterns in a vast night. Beyond that, you see threads of light curving into the Virgo supercluster, and farther still, the sprawling expanse of Laniakea shimmering faintly like a cosmic reef in the ocean of the universe. It's not cold or lonely there. It feels alive, calm, infinite, and welcoming. Everything moves together. Galaxies, clusters, stars, you. The same gravity that holds the universe together holds you now, gently, without pressure, without demand. You are being carried by the Earth, by the galaxy, by the quiet pull of space itself, through an ocean of light that has no edge. And as the galaxies continue their patient journey, the universe hums a low and endless song, the sound of belonging, the sound of everything moving as one. So when you look up at the night sky and see a single bright star, remember this: that light is only a whisper from your cosmic neighborhood. Beyond it are families of galaxies, rivers of light, entire worlds waiting in silence. The sky above you is not empty, it is full, overflowing with motion, with connection with home. And you are a part of it, not apart from it, not lost in it, but carried within it, softly, peacefully, exactly where you belong. If you could step back far enough to see the universe all at once, it wouldn't look empty at all. It would look alive. A vast, glowing web stretched across the dark, woven from threads of light and shadow. The galaxies are not scattered randomly through space. They are connected, drawn together by something unseen, something gentle and persistent. This invisible fabric, made of what we call dark matter, forms the structure of everything, a quiet cosmic scaffolding that holds the stars, the planets, and the spaces between. From afar, the universe would appear like a shimmering net, each strand glowing faintly, where galaxies gather, each intersection a bright knot of clustered light. Between these bright points lie vast cosmic voids, wide silent regions with almost nothing at all, where the darkness deepens and time seems to pause. But even the emptiness is part of the design. The voids shape the filaments, giving contrast to the glowing threads. Like the spaces between the notes in music, they are what make the harmony complete. This is the cosmic web the living architecture of the universe. It stretches for billions of light years in every direction, too large for any eye to see, too delicate for any hand to touch. And yet its presence is everywhere. Every galaxy, including our own Milky Way, lies along one of these filaments, moving slowly through the quiet network. The light from their stars travels along invisible paths, connecting one shining node to another, as if tracing the heartbeat of creation itself. If you could drift through it, floating silently between the threads, you might see it as a mist of gold and violet light, faint, graceful, and endless. The clusters of galaxies would rise before you like lanterns suspended in water, glowing softly, their light blending into one another until the edges disappear. It would not feel chaotic or cold, but calm, an immense breathing stillness. Space itself would seem to hum, not with sound, but with a quiet awareness that everything is connected. What holds this network together is something we still don't fully understand. Dark matter, invisible, untouchable, does not shine yet. It guides the galaxies as surely as a current guides a leaf on water. It's as if the universe is built on a hidden skeleton, unseen but strong, shaping the form of everything we can see. Without it, there would be no stars, no galaxies, no worlds. Even though we cannot perceive it directly, we know it's there, gently holding the cosmos in balance. And in that balance, there's beauty. The cosmic web is not a static thing. It moves, flows, and evolves over billions of years. Galaxies drift along its filaments, like beads sliding on threads drawn slowly toward one another. Clusters grow larger, voids grow emptier. The whole structure stretches as the universe expands, and yet its pattern remains elegant, ordered, timeless. It's not just a map of where matter is. It's a record of how everything came to be. The same forces that shape this great web are at work within you. The gravity that binds galaxies is the same gravity that keeps your feet on the ground. The atoms that make up your body were once scattered across those same filaments, floating in clouds of gas that would one day collapse into stars. When you breathe, you draw in particles that have crossed the cosmic web countless times, drifting, colliding, joining, and separating again. You are built from the same threads that weave the universe. If you could imagine your place in all of this, it might feel like standing inside a vast glowing cathedral, endless, silent, full of light that has traveled for billions of years just to reach this moment. Each glimmer you see in the night sky is one of the web's bright intersections, one point in an infinite pattern. You are looking not only into distance, but into connection, the physical evidence that everything from galaxies to dust is part of one continuous whole. And in that realization, there is peace. The spaces that once felt empty are now full. The darkness between the stars is not absence, but presence filled with the unseen threads that hold everything together. You are part of that weave, not separate from it. The same invisible matter that shapes the galaxies also moves quietly through you, connecting you to every corner of the cosmos. You are not lost within the web. You are a luminous point within it, shining just as truly as any star. So tonight, as you drift toward rest, imagine that you are floating within that vast network, surrounded by filaments of light stretching endlessly in every direction. The stars above are not distant. They are part of the same web that holds you. You are suspended within it, safe and still connected to everything that has ever existed and everything that will ever be. The universe is not empty. It is alive, a living fabric of light and gravity of time and silence. And you, a small spark within its weave, belong perfectly to it. Everything we know about the universe, every thought, every discovery, every whisper of distant time has come to us through light. Light is the storyteller of the cosmos, the traveler that never stops. It has crossed billions of years through silence and dust and space just to reach our eyes. When you look at the night sky, what you see isn't happening now. It's the memory of what once was carried to you by the oldest messenger in existence. Every sparkle above you is a fragment of history, still unfolding in the present moment. When you look at the moon, you're not seeing it as it is, but as it was a heartbeat ago. The light that touches your eyes left its surface just over 1 second earlier, a tiny step into the past, almost too small to notice. When you look at the sun, you see it as it was 8 minutes ago, not as it is now. Even in that brief delay, light reminds us that what we call the present is always built on the echoes of what came before. Every glance toward the sky is a journey backward, in time a gentle invitation to remember that everything we see is already a memory. Now imagine looking farther toward the faint glow of the Andromeda Galaxy, our great cosmic neighbor. Its light began its journey long before humans existed, some 2.5 million years ago. When that light first left Andromeda, our ancestors had not yet learned to speak, and the world was filled with quiet forests and ancient winds. Yet it has traveled all this way, never tiring, crossing the cold and emptiness of intergalactic space, to arrive here tonight and rest softly upon your eyes. You are witnessing a glow that began before history, before memory, before we even had the word for sky. The farther we look, the older the light becomes. Some of it has been traveling not for millions, but for billions of years. The faintest galaxies, seen through telescopes, are windows into the universe's childhood, a time when the first stars were being born from clouds of darkness, when light itself was new. That light has stretched and cooled as it moved across the expanding cosmos, its energy softened by time until it reached us as a whisper of the dawn. When astronomers study that glow, they are not just observing distant stars. They are listening to the universe's first breath, captured in light that never forgot its beginning. If you could see light not as brightness, but as time itself, the night sky would unfold like a tapestry of ages. The nearer stars would shimmer as the recent past moments ago by cosmic standards, while the farthest galaxies would appear as ancient dreams shining from an era when the universe was still young. Beyond them lies a faint, ghostly background, the afterglow of creation itself, the cosmic microwave light that has been traveling for almost 14 billion years. It fills all of space, even now, silent and invisible to our eyes. The universe's first memory, woven into everything that exists. Light in its patience never rushes. It carries the past forward with perfect care, never losing its story, never turning back. It moves at the same steady pace through eternity, unhurried, unstoppable, unchanged. Every ray that reaches you is a survivor, a messenger that has crossed unimaginable distances without faltering. When it touches your eyes, that journey ends, and in that instant, the universe speaks to you in its oldest, simplest language. You don't have to understand it. You only have to feel it The warmth, the quiet, the connection. And when that light enters you, it doesn't just show you the world outside, it joins the world within. The atoms in your body were born in stars, whose light still drifts through space. The calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, the carbon in your breath, all were once illuminated by ancient fires. When you see light, you are not only witnessing the universe, you are remembering it. You are made of its story, carried in every cell. The light you see and the light you are made of are one and the same. Think of what that means when you look at a star. You and that star are connected across time. The space between you is vast, but not empty. It is filled with the quiet persistence of light, a bridge that links your present moment to a past so ancient it cannot be imagined. The stars are not distant strangers. They are old friends, still shining, still calling, reminding you that you belong to the same story they have always told. The universe speaks through light, and all you have to do is listen. It doesn't rush to tell its story. It takes billions of years to whisper a single sentence. It moves at the pace of patience, the pace of eternity. In that slowness, there is calm, a deep peace that fills the spaces between moments. You don't need to grasp the scale of it. You only need to let it move through you, the way moonlight moves across water, the way morning light touches your face. So tonight, as you lie beneath the quiet of the sky, think of yourself not as a watcher of the stars, but as part of their story. You are the final stop in a journey that began before time as we know it. The light that finds you tonight has been traveling for so long that it has seen the birth of worlds, the collapse of suns, the rise of life, and the slow unfolding of consciousness. And now, it rests here softly, gently on you. Let that thought settle into your breath, that every glow, every shimmer, every star above is not just light, but time itself arriving home. As your eyes grow heavy, imagine that light continuing its journey, not just around you, but within you, through your veins, your heartbeat, your dreams. You are not apart from the universe's story. You are a line within its light, a note in its endless song. And in that song, nothing is ever truly gone. Every beam, every glimmer, every memory of light remains quiet, patient, and eternal, waiting for someone someday to look up and listen again. The observable universe stretches about 93 billion light years across an expanse so vast it almost feels unreal. Yet that distance isn't a measure of everything that exists, only of how far light has had time to travel since the beginning. Light has been moving for 13.8 billion years, carrying the story of creation with it, and the edge of what we can see is simply where that story ends for now. Beyond that boundary lies something we cannot yet know, not because it isn't there, but because its light hasn't reached us. Every night when you look up at the sky, you are peering into that visible shell of the universe, the part lit by the oldest starlight. Every point you see, every faint sparkle, every mist of distant galaxies sits inside that luminous horizon. It's the limit of our vision, the farthest edge of the cosmic sea we can observe. And beyond it stretches darkness, not empty, not silent, just unseen. The light from those farther worlds is still on its way, crossing distances so immense that even eternity seems to move slowly. It's humbling to realize that everything we've ever known, Every atom, every thought, every dream exists inside that glowing bubble of light. 93 billion light years sounds infinite, but compared to the vastness beyond, it's only a whisper. The observable universe is not the whole of reality. It's only what has revealed itself so far. The rest remains hidden, wrapped in the calm silence of what light has yet to reach. If you close your eyes and imagine it, the edge of the universe is not a wall, not a line you could cross. It's more like the soft edge of dawn, a place where the glow fades gently into shadow. Beyond it lies the unlit future of discovery, where galaxies wait patiently for their light to arrive. The darkness there is not absence, it's potential. It's the part of the story that has not yet been told. Astronomers sometimes call that region the unobservable universe, but even the word unobservable feels too final. It's not that those places will never be seen, only that their light hasn't yet touched us. Time itself moves too slowly for our brief lives to witness it. But one day, far in the future, the light now traveling will arrive, and new edges will unfold. The universe, it seems, is always expanding, not just in space, but in possibility. And yet, there's something peaceful about knowing we live inside this glowing horizon. It gives our existence a frame, a gentle boundary between the known and the unknown. Within it are galaxies, stars, worlds, and the delicate thread of life on Earth. Beyond it lies mystery, but together they form one whole, connected by the silent motion of light. The darkness beyond doesn't threaten the light, it gives it meaning. Without the shadow, the glow would have nowhere to travel, no distance to bridge, no story to tell. When you think about it, the edge of the observable universe is also the edge of memory itself. The oldest light we can see, the faint microwave glow that fills the cosmos, is the echo of the universe's first moment, still traveling through space after nearly 14 billion years. That light marks the boundary between what can be known and what still waits in the quiet beyond. It's the universe's own lullaby, a hum that has never stopped playing since time began. Perhaps the most beautiful truth is that even the darkness beyond the light belongs to the same creation. The unseen regions, the hidden galaxies, the unlit corners of the cosmos, they too are part of the great whole. We cannot see them yet, but they exist shaping the gravitational rhythm of what we can see. Their presence can be felt like the soft outline of something sleeping just beyond the edge of a vision. If you let that thought settle, the vastness stops feeling cold. The darkness becomes gentle, like a quiet pause between breaths. You begin to sense that the unknown is not something distant or dangerous. It's simply the universe still unfolding, still becoming, just as you are. The same patience that allows light to travel across billions of years also allows your heart to rest. Tonight, both are part of the same rhythm. So, as you lie beneath the stars, remember that the visible universe, all 93 billion light years of it, is just the beginning of a much larger story. The light you see now has come as far as it could, carrying with it the tale of time itself. Beyond its reach lies the next chapter, waiting quietly in shadow, waiting for its turn to shine. And perhaps when you close your eyes, you can almost feel it, that edge where light ends and mystery begins, soft, eternal, and full of promise. When you look up at the night sky, the Milky Way seems endless, a river of light stretching from horizon to horizon. Yet in truth, our entire galaxy spans about 100,000 light years across. That distance is almost too vast for the mind to hold, but in the scale of the universe, it's only a whisper, a single thread in an ocean of light. Beyond the edges of the Milky Way, the cosmos continues for billions of light years, more reaching outward into a space so immense it defies comprehension. The observable universe, the part we can see, stretches roughly 93 billion light years across. That means our Milky Way, grand as it is only one tiny drop in an unimaginable sea. In sheer size, the universe is about 900,000 times larger in diameter than our galaxy. And if you could somehow compare their volumes, if you could measure the amount of space they each occupy, the universe would be more than 1 billion trillion times larger. It's not just big, it's beyond big. It's a scale that dissolves language itself, leaving only silence and awe. Imagine for a moment shrinking the Milky Way down until it's the size of a house, the luminous home that shelters our sun, our earth, and everything we've ever known. Then imagine stepping outside that house and realizing it sits not alone but on a planet, a vast world covered with millions of other glowing houses, each one another, galaxy, each one alive, with its own suns and stars and stories. That's what the universe truly is. Not a single shining home, but an entire planet of galaxies stretching endlessly in every direction. The numbers are overwhelming, yet the feeling they bring isn't one of insignificance. It's one of belonging, because even though we are so small, we are part of something immense, something alive. The Milky Way moves through that vastness, not as a speck of dust, but as one voice in a chorus of billions. Every galaxy adds its own note, its own rhythm, its own light. Together they create the quiet, infinite harmony we call the universe. If you could drift far enough away to see it all at once, you'd see galaxies arranged like glittering constellations of their own clusters and filaments stretching across the cosmic web. You'd see the Milky Way and Andromeda side by side, part of a cluster of dozens of smaller galaxies, all drifting together within the local group. Then you'd see that group as part of an even larger supercluster, the Virgo supercluster, one thread in a vast cosmic fabric known as Laniakea, our true home in the great map of space. Every point of light would be a galaxy, every cluster, a family, every connection, a story. From that view, distance begins to lose its meaning. The difference between 100,000 light years and 93 billion no longer feels like numbers. It feels like music, a slow, eternal expansion that carries all things outward, yet keeps them connected by the same laws, the same physics, the same gentle gravity that binds atoms to your body. The same forces that shape the universe also shape you. In that way, the scale doesn't separate us from the cosmos, it unites us with it. And though the size of the universe is staggering, it's also tender. It doesn't flaunt its immensity. It simply is, wide, calm, ancient, full of quiet motion. The galaxies don't compete for space. They drift, guided by invisible threads of gravity, glowing softly against the velvet dark. The Milky Way is just one among them, yet its light, like every other, contributes to the gentle radiance that fills the cosmos. Every galaxy matters. Every star matters. Every small point of light adds something to the whole. When you think about the difference in scale, a galaxy that feels infinite to us, and a universe that contains billions more, it becomes clear that our sense of size is only perspective. To a galaxy, a human is smaller than dust, but to a human, a galaxy is a dream too large to hold. And yet both exist within the same reality, both woven from the same cosmic fabric. The same laws that let galaxies spin also let your heart beat. The same particles that built the stars built your body. You are part of the same vast equation. So tonight, when you look up and trace the Milky Way across the sky, remember that it is both immense and tiny. Immense to us, tiny to the universe, and somehow that makes it even more beautiful, because within that smallness lies wonder, and within that vastness lies connection. You don't have to understand it. You only have to feel it, the gentle truth that you too belong to something infinitely large and infinitely calm. The galaxy is your home, yes, but the universe is your world, a planet of light where every shining home is another Milky Way, another possibility, another reflection of the same mystery. When you close your eyes tonight, imagine drifting upward through the roof of your cosmic house, past the stars of your neighborhood, past the filaments of galaxies until you see it all, the luminous expanse, the endless web of existence. There in that quiet place between the stars, you'll realize that the universe isn't out there somewhere far away. You are already inside it, resting peacefully within its vast and glowing embrace. When we begin to understand the scale of the universe, the vastness of stars, galaxies, and time itself, something changes quietly inside us. It isn't fear, and it isn't insignificance. It's a kind of calm, widening a soft realization that our place in all this isn't about size or power, but about connection. We are not the center of it all, and yet somehow we belong perfectly within it. The universe does not revolve around us, but it includes us, and that inclusion is more meaningful than any illusion of importance could ever be. To know how small we are is not to lose value, but to be expanded by wonder. The galaxies above don't diminish us. They give us perspective, reminding us that we are made of the same elements, built from the same light. Every cell in your body carries the memory of ancient stars. The iron in your blood was once part of a supernova. The calcium in your bones once drifted as stardust through space. To exist at all here now, aware of the night, is to be both impossibly small and infinitely connected. That kind of humility doesn't weaken us. It softens us. It reminds us to breathe, to slow down, to listen. When you stand beneath the night sky and look up, you are seeing your own origins. The stars that glitter above you are not strangers. They are your ancestors. They burned and collapsed so that you could one day stand here, breathing quietly under their descendants. You are not apart from the universe. You are one of its ways of looking back at itself, one of its countless forms of awareness, flickering gently for a moment in time. And in that realization, there is peace. The need to be large, to be lasting, begins to fade. You no longer have to grasp at permanence when you understand that you already belong to eternity. Every heartbeat, every thought, every breath is part of a much larger rhythm, the same rhythm that moves galaxies through space and carries light across billions of years. Your life is not small in meaning just because it is brief. It is part of a continuum, one link in the quiet chain of existence. that began long before you and will continue long after. Think of it this way: you're like a single note in an endless symphony. Alone, your sound may seem soft, fleeting, barely there. But within the music, you're essential. Without your note, the melody would not be complete. Every star, every planet, every being contributes to that harmony. Even silence, even stillness is part of it, the pause that allows the next sound to unfold. The universe doesn't measure worth by magnitude. It values presence, and you simply by being here are part of its presence. There's something deeply comforting in that thought. To be small in such a vast cosmos means to be surrounded by infinity. It means that even when you feel lost, you are held by gravity, by light, by the quiet continuity of existence. You don't have to reach for meaning. Meaning is already here, flowing through you like breath. The stars above are distant, yes, but they are also within you. Their light shines in your blood. Their atoms pulse in your heartbeat. You are not beneath them. You are made of them. Humility in this sense is not an admission of weakness, but an act of alignment. It's the moment when you stop resisting your smallness and begin to rest in it, to realize that you don't have to understand everything. You only have to belong to it, which you already do. The same forces that hold galaxies together hold you too. The same balance that keeps the universe from collapsing lives in your breath, in the quiet in-betweens of your thoughts. As you breathe, now feel that balance. Each inhale is the universe expanding within you. Each exhale is the universe releasing through you. The stars turn, the galaxies drift, the atoms in your lungs realign, and all of it, every motion, every stillness, is one continuous story. Your story, our story, the universe's story, told over and over in endless forms. So when you look up at the night sky and feel small, let that feeling stay. Don't resist it. Let it settle like gentle rain, because in that smallness lies freedom. Freedom from comparison, from control, from needing to be more than you are. The truth is, you are already enough exactly as you are. You exist, and that existence is a miracle written in the language of stars. Beyond the galaxies, beyond the limits of sight, beyond even the reach of time, the universe continues, vast, silent, beautiful. And yet within all of that immensity, you breathe, you think, you love, you feel wonder, you create meaning. And maybe that is the most astonishing thing of all, that out of endless darkness, something as brief and fragile as life can hold, awareness can hold awe, can whisper, I see. As you drift toward rest, let that awareness cradle you. The stars will keep turning, the Milky Way will keep spinning, the universe will keep expanding just as it has for billions of years. And you will rest for a little while within it, a single luminous moment in the great unfolding whole. Small, yes, but full of meaning, always. Now, let yourself rest. Let the edges of your thoughts soften like waves, folding quietly onto a still shore. The universe is wide and full, but for now it asks nothing of you. You don't need to think, to measure, to understand. Just breathe slowly, gently. Feel the calm rise through you, like moonlight rising over a quiet sea. Above you, the stars are still burning, their light crossing ages of time. To reach this moment, galaxies are turning in their endless spirals, silent and patient, continuing their dance as they have for billions of years. Somewhere deep in the dark, new stars are being born, their light not yet arrived, their story not yet told. The cosmos carries on, quietly, peacefully, whether you watch or not. You are part of that stillness. Every breath you take connects you to the rhythm of everything that exists, the turning earth beneath you, the glowing clouds of gas that form suns, the quiet hum of gravity holding it all together. The same atoms that drift through distant nebulae are drifting through you now. You are not separate from the universe. You are inside it, wrapped safely within its vast and endless body. Let that thought hold you like a blanket of starlight. Imagine the universe as something soft, not cold or distant, but warm and kind, folding around you in silence. The stars are your night lamps, burning gently above you. The galaxies are the breath of infinity, exhaling calm into the void. And you, a small soul, resting beneath them, are exactly where you are meant to be. You don't need to hold it all in your mind. You don't need to carry the weight of the infinite. It's enough to know that you are part of it, a small, bright flicker in the sea of time. You belong to this moment, this breath, this heartbeat. The same forces that keep the stars alight keep you alive. The same balance that steadies galaxies steadies your thoughts now, easing them into stillness. So close your eyes and feel how vast everything is, not to be overwhelmed, but to be comforted. You are cradled within something immeasurable. You are resting in the arms of eternity itself. Every light in the sky, every drifting planet, every distant pulse of energy is part of the same quiet story, a story that for a little while you can simply dream inside. And as your body grows heavier, your breath slower, let go of the day. Let your mind drift like stardust, free and unbound. The universe is watching over you, not as something far away, but as something within you. You are its heartbeat, its thought, its quiet pause between creation and rest. Sleep now beneath the stars that will keep burning long after tonight. Let them guard your dreams. Let their light find you in sleep, the way it finds its way through time. You are safe. You are home. The galaxies will keep spinning. The stars will keep glowing. And the universe will keep breathing softly around you. Good night, little soul, resting among endless stars, drifting peacefully in the cradle of forever.